Good morning, everyone. This is Mrs. Ward with your ACT review. Since we are not here today, we thought it would be easier to make an ACT video and just have whoever is substituting just play the video. So what I'm going to do is have you get out your books, your ACT books, and turn. And today we're going to do the sevens, the 7, 17, 27, 37, 47, and 57. So get out your books. We're not going to use the hats today because we're not there to collect them on the calculator. So we're just going to go ahead and answer the books and answer the questions in your book, circle the correct answer, and then we will go over it. To make life a little bit easier, I'm just going to press the timer here, and I'm just going to let the video play through that 6 minutes. So there's no need to pause the video and do a separate timer. Just let the video play, and the clock will start counting down. So hopefully, pause if everyone's not ready, but if everyone's ready, here we go. We're going to start the timer, and you have 6 minutes to do the sevens. Okay, you have about 1 minute. Okay, your time is up. So pencils down and pay attention. So the first one, you're doing a mass mailing and you have costs and you want to figure out what your budget would have to plan in order to make this mailing happen. So we have 1,500 letters that we intend to sell and we want to see how much it'll cost. So the first thing, I need envelopes, information sheets, return cards, and stamps. So I have those all listed here. So the envelopes, each box, there's a box of 100. So I'm first going to figure out how many boxes I need. So I'm going to take the 1,500 letters that I plan on sending, divide that by 100, and that tells me that I need 15 boxes. I need 15 boxes, and each box costs $5. So I'm going to multiply that by 5, and the boxes are going to cost me $75. The next thing I have is the information sheets. Again, I still have the 1,500 that I'm planning on sending, but each information sheet comes in a box, a set of 50, so I'm going to divide that by 50. When I divide 1,500 by 50, I get 30, so I need 30 sets of those sheets. Each one of those costs $15. So I'm going to take 30 times 15, I end up with $450. The next thing is return cards. Take my 1,500, each box of return cards has 200. When I divide 1,500 by 200, I get 7.5. But the problem is I cannot get just half a box. 7 boxes won't work, so I need to get 8 boxes. So I'm going to take 8 times $10, and that'll give me $80. And the last thing is I need stamps, and each stamp is 44 cents. So I'm going to take the 1,500, and I'm just going to multiply it by that 0.44 for each stamp, and my budget for stamps is going to be $660. I'm going to add up these 4 things, and when I do that, I get $1,265. So that is going to be my budget, and that is choice E. Number 17, it says a ball is thrown down from the tall building and falls at a distance according to the following formula. X sub t is equal to, and then you have the equation where it says X sub t is computed in meters. How many meters has the ball fallen after 6 seconds? So I know that my t is going to be 6. So I'm just going to substitute. So I'm going to find X of 6. Just substituting that 6 in for t. So I'm going to have 8 times t, which I just said was 6, plus 1/2 times 10 times 6 squared, and I put that into my calculator and I end up with 228. So my correct choice is C, 228 meters. Number 27, which of the valves does not have a vertical axis of symmetry? Vertical means that the line is going to go up and down. So a vertical line goes like this. Axis of symmetry means that it makes the left side and the right side look exactly the same. So if I think of my A, I can very easily draw a line that cuts that A in half. So that does have axis of symmetry, vertical axis of symmetry. If I try to do the same thing with E, I'll switch colors here, and I try and do there's no way I can draw a vertical line that'll cut that E in half. So E is going to be the only one that does not have symmetry. If you wanted to try the other ones, you would have I, I could draw a line down the center that cuts that in half, and the left side would look exactly like the right. O, same thing. Could draw a line down the center that cuts that in half, and the left side would look like the right. And the same thing with the U. So the correct choice there is the letter B, choosing the letter E. Number 37, which of the following expressions would give the measure of angle A? So they tell you that it's a right triangle, and that's the only time that you can assume it's a right triangle is when they tell you it's a right triangle or they give you that symbol. So I have to go back to my geometry days, and for those of you who are, doubling up and taking geometry, you might not have seen this, but you will get there eventually. I'm going to remember SOHCAHTOA. And what does SOHCAHTOA mean? SOHCAHTOA means that the sine of an angle is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. The cosine of an angle is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And the tangent of an angle is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. So if I'm looking for angle A, the opposite side is going to be A. The adjacent side is going to be B, and the C, since it's opposite of this right angle, will always be the hypotenuse. So these first two are, if I take the sine of A, that's going to give me a ratio. So the sine of A would be A over C. So that doesn't help me. But if I think of this, the sine of A would equal A over C. Again, nothing, when I look here, when I do the arc sine, which is the inverse, that has C over A, so that doesn't match up. If I try the cosine of A, that's going to be the adjacent, which is B over C. I do have B over C, and I have cosine. This arc cosine means that I'm going to take these two and switch the places. It's an inverse function, so the input becomes the output becomes the input. So the correct choice here is E. Again, if you're haven't done this in geometry, you probably wouldn't be familiar with that, and that's okay. You would just make a guess, but know that you'll eventually get there. 47, again, another right triangle. A right triangle with sides A, B, and C, where C is the hypotenuse. So when I'm going to draw this triangle, if I call this angle A, the side opposite of A will be little a. If I call this angle B, the side opposite of B will be little b, and C is always my hypotenuse. It says, what is the cosine of angle A? So remembering what we just did, SOHCAHTOA, we said the cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So in this case, if I'm looking from angle A, the adjacent is B, and the hypotenuse is C. So my correct choice is going to be letter A. And then the last one, number 57. It says, what the smallest possible period of this graph is closest to which of the following integers? What a period means is how long it takes the graph to repeat itself. So since it wants to know how long it's going to do, I'm going to start, probably for me, the easiest place to start would be at 0. And I'm going to see how long it takes me to draw one complete curve. So if I start at 0, and I'm starting like kind of in the middle, and I go all the way up, and I hit 0. Have I finished this curve? Well, no, because I've hit all the positive numbers, but I haven't hit the negative numbers. So I'm going to keep on going, and I follow this for all my negatives, and I hit 0 again. And then it looks like I'm going to do the exact same thing over and over and over again. So it looks like I'm going to keep on continuing up and down, up and down. But it wants to know how long it takes me to hit every single value, which is going to be from this 0 to this number here. And it says to the closest integer, and that is going to be choice, that's a 6 there, so it's going to be D, which is 6. Okay, if you have any questions on these, you can ask us next time you see us in class. And now you're going to stop this video and do the group day activity. Thanks for listening.